Okay, great. Hey guys,
Hey guys, we're back.
for round 5, Benasque Open. That actually finished today.
This is our first evening video. There's no sunlight. It's kind of depressing, but it's okay.
Yeah, so we're fresh off the games. I had a tough loss against GM Alexander Zubov, who's like 2600 from Ukraine, the motherland, and you won.
I won, yeah. It was not the most high quality game, but a win is a win. I got to destroy my favorite opening, the London system. So
Right, yeah, we'll have to talk about
excited
that.
to show that.
Okay.
But let's start with your game.
Yeah, we'll start. So, it was interesting to prepare for him because he plays a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He ends up going for the Grunfeld, which he has played before, but not in a little while, so it wasn't like my main thing to prepare. I was actually a little bit surprised he went for it because I've played a couple different stuff like knight f3, bishop e3, and rook b1, and so I thought maybe he wouldn't want to go into it if he didn't know exactly what was coming.
From his perspective, Grunfeld's probably a good opening to try and play for a win as black.
Yeah,
given.
definitely. Yeah, it was between this and the King's Indian, and maybe he didn't want to do that against me. But, well, I play queen a4 check. This is one of the lines I'm familiar with. I think it's a good playable weapon. Knight d7, knight f3, castles, bishop e2, c5. This is all basically normal. Now, the main line here is actually for white to sacrifice an exchange with cd4 and knight c5, and then white just takes it.
Oh, wow.
And this position is considered very playable for white. I mean, I would have been...
I'll admit I know almost no Grunfeld theory.
Yeah.
If I know someone plays a Grunfeld, I'll like play the London or I'll play some anti-Grunfeld. So this is all new for me. It looks interesting though.
It's sharp stuff. Yeah, I think white has probably enough for like
queen
equality.
h4 coming maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, without preparation, black would have big problems here. But he played this kind of more flexible move, a6. I figured like, okay, he is likely to do something like this. I didn't prepare any of the lines here too deeply because black can also play like queen c7. He can play, I think, b6 is a move, knight b6. I mean, just so many moves here. It would be crazy to just prepare everything. But I had some setup in mind. So he played a6. I remembered the move was queen a3, so I just played it. Over the board, I realized that black is threatening b5 here because if bishop takes b5, he has knight b6 and wins the piece. So queen a3 stops b5. And if black can't play b5, then he doesn't develop with so much space and so much comfort. He played queen c7. I think it's a pretty normal move. Rook e1. This was kind of my idea against other lines, and it made sense here. So the setup I'm kind of going for is like if knight f6, I'll play bishop d3. So you probably don't want to play e5 and allow knight d5. And well, just try to like keep tension. Maybe bishop g5, rook c1, small space
normal.
advantage. Yeah. Okay, he played e6, which I thought was, I mean, it's a normal move, but I wasn't expecting it here, and I didn't think it was necessary. But okay, I played bishop g5, b6, and I went for e5.
So I walked by your game
Yeah.
at this moment, right when you played e5. I don't know if you realized it, but when you played e5, he kind of leaned back and made this face.
Oh,
it
he was
like
unhappy.
A face of, I don't know if it was unhappy or just like surprise that you would play e5.
Oh, really?
Like his eyes widened and like he was,
Oh, wow.
I don't know, it was a weird expression.
Huh.
So somehow you affected him emotionally.
That's interesting. I mean, well, my understanding in these positions is that e5 is good against the knight on d7.
I mean, the way that I read it is that he was so surprised you just gave him the d5 square, but maybe it was scared of like your attack. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a normal move.
Yeah.
It might not be good. I don't know. I think the position I got was quite promising. But basically the idea is like his knight is now just kind of very restricted.
Makes sense, yeah.
You wouldn't do this with the knight on c6 because then he does get to d5 very quickly, like e7 and d5. But here, he doesn't get there.
And you have ideas of like bishop e7, bishop d6.
Yeah, so this is my main idea. I want to get the bishop to d6, but I also want to get the knight to c4.
Mhm.
So if he played like rook e8 here, which would kind of be a normal move, then knight d2, and I think, I mean, he has big problems. Bishop
it's hard to
f3,
stop
knight
knight
e4,
c4,
knight c4.
yeah.
So this is kind of, I mean, it's a double-edged move. If white kind of gets the bind, then white does well, but
Mhm.
it is also risky and extending. Some players, they just play f6 here. But I thought this should be...
Looks weakening, the e6 pawn.
Yeah, like bishop c4, knight e5.
Mhm.
I thought this would be pleasant. Well, he played bishop b7, bishop e7, and black does have this option to play knight takes e5. I don't know how seriously he considered it, because he played rook e8 quickly, but I wasn't sure exactly what's going on here, but I thought
exchange sack.
I'm fine, yeah. Like, I don't know, knight f3 or bishop f3. Then I was gonna take on g7.
Wait, your white's up a rook.
And I'm up a rook, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this didn't look like it was... I mean, he can take
Maybe
on...
take on f8 first, and
But,
this looks fine for white.
yeah, I mean, it's
Because
only
black only has a pawn.
one pawn, so I didn't think it's going to be... Oh, maybe he has some cd4.
Intermezzo. But still, you move the queen, take back on d4. Ooh, you could even take on f8 and make things spicy. Queen take f8, bishop take a8.
No, rook takes.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But that would be nice. But this one...
Well, this should be at least equal for white.
Yeah.
I mean, white's probably slightly better.
But I think black is just probably fine. I mean, rook
Yeah,
d8, bishop
getting
g7.
up on d4. And, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, but...
Seems like hard position to play for a win is black.
Yeah, it's not really necessary for him to go for this. Okay, but he played rook fe8, bishop d6, queen c6. So this might be like a critical moment, because I was really considering two moves here. Like bishop d3, this is what I play just to immediately go for bishop e4. And also knight h4 I thought was interesting. Just to, again, just play bishop f3 and neutralize this pressure. But knight h4, I thought it's misplaced.
It's a bit weird.
But I am getting bishop f3 in next move. And then I do have some dynamic pressure, because like rook b1 is coming, the b file is kind of hanging. He can't move the rook, because I'll just take the pawn. I mean, okay,
Well,
bishop
bishop
f3
f3
is
too,
just
yeah.
crushing. But in any of these positions, I can just
Right.
take rook a8, take on b7. So I don't know exactly what he... Maybe he continues as in the game, bishop h6, bishop f3. I guess it would be pretty similar to what we got.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could take and take on c5, and yeah, that would be very similar. Okay, I play bishop d3, bishop h6. I was actually kind of expecting f5 here, but I would have been happy if he plays this move, because then he gives up f6 for the rest of the game, and now the e6 pawn is going to be weak.
It's hard to undermine like this e5 and bishop on d6 setup.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
e6 could be weak too, like knight g5, queen b3, bishop c4.
Right. So I don't know what move I start with here. Maybe bishop f1, so I can play like knight g5 and yeah, queen b3, rook b1. Yeah, it looks pleasant. So he doesn't go for it, just bishop h6, which is, I think, really reasonable move, controlling c1. I didn't check with the engine. I think chess24 was telling me I missed like a small advantage somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know where, but I thought what I did was quite reasonable. Rook b1. Maybe it was critical to go for this bishop e4. I just didn't think I'm getting all that much here. Like take... because this is a typical Grunfeld sacrifice. Like I don't think I want to take this pawn and just allow both of his rooks in. But maybe I can just play like rook b1 and just claim I'm slightly better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, queen a5.
Yeah, keep the c file closed and play on the b file. I mean, you're controlling b8, so
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
black can't really access the only open file.
this kind of feels at least slightly pleasant for white. No real risk. If I can, I mean, one day get the knight to d2 and c4, it would be really, really great. So maybe that was kind of better. But okay, rook b1. He decides to take on d4. and play b5. He had to, because if b5 right away, I can just take the pawn, I think, and things are good. And otherwise, I'm threatening to play bishop e4 and then take on c5 and win material. So he plays b5, bishop e4, queen c8, queen d3. I was just trying to keep some pressure, because of course he's now ready to put the knight on b6 and d5. And with this move, if he takes, I want to take with either the queen and swing over, or the rook and swing over, and things are good. But he plays knight b6, and here I took, and I played rook e4. So I'm just kind of switching over to the king side, which I thought that's what white is supposed to do here, because I'm controlling this f8 square. So whenever I get this attack with like knight g5, queen h3, I'm covering f8. So it's like,
looks pretty strong.
It's always dangerous. But he found some great counterplay here. Maybe I should have done something slower, like knight d2. I think, because my attack ends up not really succeeding. So if I'm looking for an improvement, maybe this would be it.
Could he take on d2 and knight c4?
Yeah, I guess so.
Some kind of fork.
Like, okay, queen h6.
Take on d6. I don't know, maybe you're just mating on h7 somehow.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the idea, just to get some play.
Yeah, maybe it's not so clear.
But yeah, this... yeah, I mean, I think it's still pretty double-edged. Okay, but I took and I went for this. He plays knight c4, so I can't take because the rook is hanging. And I decided to play bishop c5. So the critical line maybe was rook h4, because this forces him to take on d6. Otherwise, queen c4 will queen f3. But okay, I don't think he wants that. So he should take here, and then I have a choice. I can take either this piece or this piece. So if I take on h6, knight f5, h3, trying to play g4, even h5, I wasn't really sure if I'm going to break through here. And if I don't break through, then my rook is on h3 and useless.
Yeah, from a positional standpoint, black is just it's crushing. But like, if you can get tactics immediately. Yeah,
it just depends. Like, will white get to break through or not? But I was skeptical. That's why I didn't really go for it.
Sure.
I can also take on d6, but bishop g7, and I didn't really see the follow-up here either, because he's going to pick up this pawn, knight g5, h6. Doesn't seem so promising. So I end up playing bishop c5, and then he finds a really strong move, queen d5.
Wait, okay, I just had a thought.
Yeah.
Go back to knight g5, h6.
So take here.
So knight g5, h6, knight e4. And now the idea is to play knight c5 and d7. I don't know, maybe it's too...
Well, yeah, queen d5.
Yeah, he can put the queen first.
It just seems so loose, and then e5 is coming.
I just wanted to get like a pawn on d7 defended by the knight, but okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, rook take h6. Tactics.
Oh, but I think he ignores it. I think just like...
Really?
Yeah. And I'm confident about this because that's kind of what happened in the game.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
So I just like, this h pawn is just it's not worth a whole lot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, this is what we get, and then I swing over, and so I start going for this play. Queen d5 here was really strong because he introduces all of these ideas with knight e5. Like, so if my rook moves bishop g7, he's ready to take on e5. And my bishop on c5 is hanging, my queen on d3 is hanging, so I have a lot of pressure here. So I didn't see what else to do. Rook h4, bishop g7, and well, this is, I guess, a good time to pause and try to figure out how should white continue the attack here.
Well, it's not on training mode, so I've already cheated. I don't think I would have found that move, given that it's just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I guess it is unexpected, right?
Yeah.
But
I'm looking into it now. It looks really interesting though.
Well, yeah, I played rook takes h7. I actually had this in mind when I played like rook h4 because you need the follow up.
It's like a Greek gift with the rook.
Yeah, I mean, so the sacrifice itself works. Like, he can't consider taking this because knight g5, and again, this bishop is covering the escape square, and black just gets mated.
So what if he plays, king h6, you take on f7?
Yeah, this one I honestly didn't even calculate because I think queen h3 is probably mate as well.
Oh, like f4. Can we just have some fun? Queen h3, king take g5, f4. Where's the mate?
Well, there's queen f3.
But king g5?
King g5.
There's got to be some quiet move here. Maybe like g3, quiet move. But then queen e4.
Yeah, I think just like rook f3 probably, and then rook g3, queen g4. I mean, if he gives the queen... Enough. Well, actually...
Bishop take e5.
Yeah, maybe this isn't that clear. But okay, I can take here. I mean, yeah, this one is just
and then simple, you just do...
yeah, this is just
more queen h3 and knight g5. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so there is... Or, I mean, I just take on h6.
These lines are just fun to calculate.
Yeah, so this one's working. Man, the sad thing is, like, I played rook takes h7. I already knew what he was going to do because black really only has one defense here. Now, if you guys want a good defensive puzzle, this is a good time to pause the video and say black to play, find the best defense.
And it's on training mode, but I cheated earlier. Like, I saw I had 2 moves.
Yeah, so knight e5 would be kind of the most natural candidate, but it doesn't work because rook g7. I take, and it looks good for white. Big attacking chances. But bishop e5 is working. And he played it instantly. Right, just to show me that like he had anticipated rook h7.
It's so sad when they're ready for your unexpected tactic.
I mean, I wasn't impressed because I played rook h4, and then he thought for like 10 minutes. So clearly that's what he was kind of calculating, right? Yeah. So I understood he had seen it coming. But anyways, in any case, I didn't really find the best follow-up from here. I mean, my first instinct was to play knight takes e5. Because if he takes again, then queen h3 is unpleasant. Probably bad. But he can take on h7. And what I'd missed here was knight f7. He has queen f5, which I think is a key resource. And the rook on b1 is hanging. I have to trade queens and fix the structure. Only one pawn for the exchange. Yeah. No real compensation, I thought. So that is very unfortunate. And I couldn't find anything else in this position. Like, I thought knight g4 is very tempting, but king g7, queen h3, he's always ready with rook h8 to just kick me out. So the move I really wanted to make was knight g5. And for those that paused the video, this turns out to be the best way to follow up for white. I think black only has one move, bishop g7, right? I don't know if you see another, because queen h3 is a big threat. Oh, and if he takes here, I take with the rook. I play queen h3, and this is very nice. This would have been wonderful. But I expected bishop g7. And I couldn't find the move. You can still
play queen h3? Or your knight's hanging.
Yeah, because queen h3 he takes. And so I actually thought about like f4 to play queen h3, and then I have like rook takes g7 ideas, but like queen f5 I thought, and I've just made so many weaknesses, and my rook on h7 is going to be misplaced in every endgame.
Yeah, the attack isn't that impressive.
So, but this is where I kind of blew it, because...
But can you play like f4, queen f5, queen g3, and then queen h4?
So that's
too many targets, yeah.
But queen g3 was actually working here.
Oh, really?
And I think I thought about this move in the game, because e5, queen h4 is just lost. I'm just taking here, or rook h8 check next move.
Yeah.
But then I think I saw queen f5, like hitting the rook, just gaining this annoying tempo. And then I just gave up on the line.
But you can just move the rook?
Yeah, I can just play rook e1, and I think...
You're still threatening queen h4?
I'm threatening queen h4 here. And I think it's actually... I think white has at least a draw here. The computer is giving some very, very nice perpetual. Only move would be bishop f6. And then white to play and find the best attacking move here.
Okay, now I can't cheat.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a move that immediately comes to mind, which is rook h8.
Yeah, very good. Rapid
queen
style.
h4.
So rook h8
Yeah.
check. If black takes the rook, big if. Queen h4, game over.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is king g7 the move?
Well, that's how we would get the perpetual. Yeah, so if he
Wow.
takes with the king, queen h4, we get the same mate.
Impressive.
And but black
Wow.
would have to play king g7. Now
You
queen
have nothing
h4,
better.
rook h8, and
Yeah.
then just repeat.
That's a weird perpetual.
This would be sick, yeah?
Yeah.
But I just completely underestimated this idea, like queen g3, queen 8. It just felt so slow to me in the game that I thought I'm just going to lose to like bishop f6 at some point.
It's a big mistake that I've seen in people's calculation is they reject lines too early without digging deeper.
Yeah.
I think that's easier to do against high-rated players because then you assume that they're going to find something or it's not working for you.
For sure, yeah. It feels overextended, and I didn't think I'm in desperate mode yet where I have to
Yeah.
like try and create some chances. But I ended up worse very quickly. So I went back rook h4, bishop g7, and now the problem is just e5 is coming. And I'm just not in time. Like knight g5, or I can't make this move. I was thinking rook g4, e5, knight g5, take, queen h3, but he takes the bishop just in time. And there's no attack. Or if I pull back first, he can still play a5, and I have to give it up. So my bishop on c5, it was a big problem this whole game because it looks like it's placed nicely, but it has no squares, and it's constantly being undermined by e5. So at this point, I think I'm just like worse here. I tried queen e4 because I thought if I trade queens, I can play a4, get some counterplay. But rook d8.
Yeah, it's like all black wants is like a nice positional game. That's
Yeah,
what you
nice
got.
endgame.
You wanted like this crazy kingside attacking game. Just played.
But it didn't
that's-
work, and now he
that's
just
tough.
has this like just technical like minus 0.8 position where I mean the only chances I had were if he blundered something basically. It's interesting he took with the pawn, and I was expecting rook takes, but maybe he thought taking with the pawn is stronger to sideline my rook and threaten rook e2. Okay, I
Makes
played
sense.
king
yeah.
f1, rook e6, rook g4. He doubles, and I play rook g5. And I think maybe he overlooked something here because he ends up going back. I assume his intention was originally to play rook e2. I would have gone for a3, rook a2, rook takes d5. And I get some funny counterplay here because, like, rook e2, for example, I have rook d8 check. And
d5.
And yeah, d5 at any point to defend f2, which is important. But also, like, knight g5 check. I mean, I'm not sure if he's not getting mated here, you know, like some g4. But in any case, I can always play d5 and bail out. But maybe
I'm
rook
calculating
d5.
rook d5, king h4, g3, king h3, knight g5.
No, but this move, right?
Oh.
Just to...
But then rook take f2.
Oh, but there's no mate.
Or
Is
there?
Well, at the very least, there's this, right? And knight e4. Which would be good, but I don't know if we missed a mate.
These lines are fun to calculate, but
Yeah.
they're complicated.
But okay, not necessarily. Right?
Yeah.
Clearly, white is just getting so much play. So I think he kind of underestimated this. He ends up playing rook d8. Now, honestly, repeating would have been better than what I did.
Oh, really?
I mean, I didn't repeat because it makes no sense, right? The rook is better on g5. Obviously, he's not going to repeat moves. He's going to find another way to play on. So I looked for a way to improve my position. I think maybe rook e1 would have been the best move here, just trying to trade. But I didn't like this. I thought he takes, king takes, he can give check. And, I mean, it's better than the game, but I'm just clearly worse here. And
You go back to d8 to defend the pawn.
yeah. I don't know. And then okay, maybe bishop f6 was better and kicked me out first.
Yeah.
But anyways, I played h4. So I thought, you know, I'm trying to get counterplay here. He plays bishop f6, which I completely forgot about. So this whole time I've been hanging knight d2. I mean, it's just barely defended. But I've always kind of, you know, made sure there are no like weird deflections or anything. And then I just forgot about bishop f6 because rook g4 runs into a very annoying move, rook e4.
Ouch. you can't take.
He actually had this in the other position. He could have played it here instead of rook e6.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is my rook is defended, so I can make some move and not losing yet. So yeah, that was just a blunder. So h4, I have to go back to g3, and he just takes on h4.
That's sad.
Yeah. Well,
You're just down a pawn.
now I'm just like still like the same position, down a
Yeah.
pawn. Finally, I tried a4 because have to do it at some point. Takes rook a1, and he played rook b8. I was really hoping for rook e8, which comes with a nice trap because if I take on a4, he has knight d2 check.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is I can play g4, and his rooks actually do nothing on the e file. And so he kind of wasted a tempo, and I'm ready to start taking back the a-pawns. He played rook b8 with a similar idea. Rook takes a4. He wants to give rook b1 check. But after g4, I feel like I almost caught him here, because I think his original idea was to play this, because he played rook b8 and then he started thinking. But here I can take on a6, and if he takes on f2 with check, I have king g1, and I'm threatening the back rank.
Counterplay, yeah.
Yeah, so suddenly my h-pawn sacrifice is not so dumb.
Yeah.
So, and then king g7, bishop
Bishop
f8,
f8.
and it's going to be, I actually don't know if it's a mate, but
At least a draw.
yeah. And so he can't go back because his rook is hanging here.
Mm-hmm.
So he used some time. He played a3, which is probably just winning. I mean, I guess I could take the pawn, but I think this endgame is bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, minimum rook b4 just takes another pawn without the bishop, no counterplay. So I tried knight e5,
I think I saw this moment,
and
I was thinking, what is Black gonna do? Then he played his next move,
oh yeah,
and I was like, oh, he's good at chess.
well, so his next move is not only good just because it's good, right? But
yeah, it's
also
so aesthetic.
Black has a very easy option to win here. I mean, not win, but like a much more natural option is knight d2 check, right?
Yeah.
King g2, knight b3. On the surface, this looks immediately winning because you're hitting the rook and then you're hitting
Mm-hmm.
the bishop on c5. I thought for sure he would do this. And there's nothing wrong with it, actually. Like, his move isn't objectively stronger. It's just a lot flashier.
Yeah.
But, like, I think the reason he didn't go for this is I have this knight d7 move.
Can be murky.
But, like, I mean, his a-pawn stays alive. I'm not sure exactly what he didn't like about it. Maybe he thought it was winning, but his way is easier. But he has, like, rook e2 here, for example, and then...
Queening. Like knight b3.
Yeah, knight b3 next move, exactly. And okay, this is just bad for white. But, yeah, his other move, what he ends up playing, I mean, it's clean. Rook b3.
I saw this
hang
and
the
I
rook.
walked out and was thinking, okay, you're going to lose within a few more moves.
I mean, brutal, because now I take, he gets the same knight d2 check, he gets the same fork, but I don't have this knight d7
Mm-hmm.
counterplay. And so I'm just going to be losing a piece here. Yeah, I mean, sick move. Well, I played king g2. There's really nothing else because he's ready to just take on e5. Takes on h3. Takes pawn. So now he's 2 pawns up. And then I think his conversion here was very simple. I'll just blast through it. But I have to run my king to get in front of his pawn, and then he just gives this check, takes this guy, and he sees that if I play rook takes a6, he's just going to win this pawn by force.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of this, I basically have no chances.
GM technique.
Yeah, I mean, I tried king e3, but the problem is his rook defends everything, his king just comes in. And then he found this nice move g5. So now he's just immediately winning the game with rook f4. I did have one trap here, but he, of course, saw right through it. Rook f4 takes... Like, if he takes here, for example, then, you get some weird
What you want,
counterplay, right? Or king
yeah.
f6, probably a lot cleaner. But he played g5, having already seen that he would have this f6 check.
Mm-hmm.
So first in between move, and then king f7, so that his king doesn't get caught on the back rank.
Smooth.
And he can just take the pawn at will. So, okay, tough game. Clearly outclassed in some of the positional elements there, but, well,
something to learn
nothing's
from. I mean,
lost.
these
Yeah.
these are the types of games that you want to play more often. Hopefully, maybe find the stronger attack for next time.
Right. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, so I played down. I played some guy, 22 something FIDE. I looked him up, older guy, and okay, so let me explain the opening, because I played a move here. Move 1, I've never played before in my life against d4. Do you want to guess?
Okay, so it's not knight f6.
No.
It's not d5.
No. Yeah, those are my two main moves.
And it's not g6, because I
played
you
that last tournament,
right?
yes.
So my guess would be d6, but I feel like
No.
it's common enough. Yeah, c5.
I've never played d6 before. I played c5 before.
Oh wow.
But still, you're incorrect.
You're not you don't play French, right? So it wasn't e6, was it?
I played e6.
Oh wow.
I don't play the French, and I was happy he didn't play e4. So I play e6 because I saw he plays Trompowsky. If I play knight f6, he would play bishop g5. I didn't want to mess with this.
Yeah.
But I also saw that against d5, he plays c4, Queen's Gambit.
Okay.
And I saw he had a couple games with e6, he was playing c4. So I wanted to trick him into some kind of like Nimzo or Queen's Indian,
Sure.
which he wouldn't, like based on his repertoire, he wouldn't have any experience with.
Because now Trompowsky makes no sense, right?
Trompowsky.
Like c4.
Oh, yeah. So I prepared this before the game, bishop g5.
Oh, wow.
I think this is a playable line. I saw Ben Feingold play it once. Maybe that doesn't mean it's playable, but the move here for black is c5 and like queen b6 or queen a5, and it's interesting.
That's fine. I mean, bishop b4 check should be good.
Yeah, so, okay. So then he pleasantly surprised me and played the London with bishop f4.
Oh, nice.
So now I'm essentially playing against my own opening. And I took some think here trying to figure out, because usually when I play against the London, I like to play lines with bishop f5 at some point. But I've already committed to e6.
Right.
So there's another line I have in my back pocket. I don't know what we call the line. I just call it the Wesley So line. It's essentially getting the setup. Move order isn't too important. It's just developing the pieces like so, like Wesley So. And then knight bd2. And Wesley unleashed this line against Geary, I think a year or two ago, maybe two years ago, with c take d4, e take d4, knight h5.
Ah, I've seen this.
Yeah, it's become popular. I remember last...
Didn't someone play this against you in Romania?
Romania? No.
We
Yeah,
covered
it
in one
was
of the
similar.
videos. Oh, I see.
But not, like, they allowed, like, bishop d3, queen e2, and I had some... I'd like bishop g3. It was different. This particular move order, it's a bit annoying for whites. And there's a lot of nuances which I probably won't get into. But I would recommend anyone who's interested in learning more about this line further, look at the Anish Giri Wesley So game, and look at my lecture on St. Louis Chess Club YouTube channel. It's called Black Wins Against D4, and I go into this line in depth.
Oh, nice.
But my opponent, he played relatively quickly bishop e3, so I was curious if he was in prep or not. I continue bishop d6. One of the main ideas is knight f4. Like, for example, bishop d3 runs into knight f4, and it's fun for black.
Nice.
So, okay, he plays knight e5. If I'm not mistaken, there is a Kamsky-Nakamura game from US Championships in this line. Kamsky played like g4, and they blitzed out a bunch of theory, and they drew after like 25 moves. But this game went a bit differently. Bishop b5. I was still in some kind of prep. I had vague memories of looking at this position and knew that like usually black can just sack the c-pawn, so I just castle.
Nice.
I didn't really calculate too much. I just assumed that if he grabs the c-pawn...
Just to calculate, put the bishop on a6.
Yeah, like rook b8 with tempo, bishop a6 coming, life should be good. So that... okay, so castling happened, and then he played bishop h6. I fianchetto my knight. Useful move in these lines. And then I have ideas of like f6, e5. He played knight df3, queen b6, queen a4. And then I had some decision to make. I don't know if I made the right decision here. I really wanted to somehow get like f6 and e5 in. I ended up taking on e5.
Mm-hmm. So what happens if you do just play f6 here?
I was hallucinating that maybe he could get away with this just because he has this bishop d7 move, and e6 can be a target given he has this bishop take.
Wait, can you
G7.
take on b2 here?
Take on b2, castle.
Just castles.
I wasn't sure what's going on.
Yeah, rook b8, bishop d7 like this.
Yeah, maybe I could have been a bit more concrete, but I don't know, it looked murky.
Mm-hmm.
I also had knight e7, which maybe was also possible. I was still worried about like bishop d7 or knight d7 ideas. Like at first glance it looks strong that I'm going to play f6 and e5 and his knight can't trade itself off, but like knight d7 I thought was annoying in some lines. So I played a line here which I thought just wins the clean pawn. Take, bishop c5. I have the double threat of bishop take f2 and a6 to win the b2 pawn.
Nice.
So I win a pawn. And then he plays rook c1. And I was feeling pretty good here because I'm up a pawn. He just played the defensive move. It's my move. I didn't think he has a super strong attack, even though his queen can swing over. I played bishop e7 pretty quickly.
That's a good move.
I was playing pretty quickly until I started missing things, and I slowed down. He played bishop g5. And maybe around here I just got too comfortable. And I felt like during the game I just felt tired and felt like I just didn't have energy to like fully involve myself. I think I just got lazy here, and I'd probably have to take.
You're taking h6, right? Because he doesn't have such a comfortable...
Yeah, I should probably play a move like h6. I played basically the first move that came to mind based off a miscalculation, and then it led to trouble. But yeah, now that I'm looking at it, h6 should just be so simple. I guess I was hesitant to play h6 because after knight goes back to f3, I thought this pawn could be weak. Like if the queen comes to h4,
it's hard. King H7,
it's a hard pawn
right?
to defend because then knight g5 again. So I don't know. Maybe I could have worked it out and found something. But
the easiest. I mean, it's not the most pleasant on the king side, but I feel like h5 should be holding.
Yeah. So the line I went for is just I just missed a simple tactical shot. Okay, so I play queen d2, which is a fork, but he didn't blunder. He has queen h4 threatening mate, and then I played knight h5. And I calculated this and saw queen f4 coming. It should be very holdable. But white to move. What move did I overlook?
I mean, knight h7 looks juicy.
Yeah.
Knight h7, you take on d3, knight f6 check.
Yeah, so knight h7 is just a key move.
You can take on
you can take on f8 too. Yeah. I just completely missed knight take h7. Like when we got to this position after I played knight h5, that's when I saw knight take h7 as possible. And he thought for like 10-15 minutes I saw it coming.
You should have looked at my game first. I would have shown you the
the So the good news about this, it wasn't lethal, and I'm able to just get a playable position.
He found it?
Yeah, he found it. I was the main thing I calculated was g4. Wait a minute. G4? No. Rook d1. Queen f4, g4. Some lines like this I was just caught up in. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I missed knight take h7. I was so caught up in these lines.
Right.
Because the position's so fascinating.
Zoomed in,
where like he's threatening knight h3. And I don't know. But So knight take h7 happened. Now the problem is I would like to take the bishop and have like 2 pieces against a rook. The problem is that he has g4. Does he have g4? Wait, where is...
Maybe check first and then g4?
Yeah, g4 immediately. Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, g4.
G4? Yeah, g4.
Yeah,
because if knight g7, queen h8, and if knight f4, then queen d8, king g7, queen f6.
Yeah.
So that would be tragic, which meant I can't take the bishop. I have to take the knight. And then he takes my knight. I play king g7, and he plays queen f3.
Yeah, so you got his pawn back, but he's not like...
But it's still a game. And I think there's probably chances for both sides, objectively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I have better pawn structure, his c-pawn's weak, but he has some annoying attack. Like, f6 is always a hole.
Yeah.
My bishop's not in the game. And it felt like he was outplaying me. I'll show you. There's another thing I missed coming up. After queen g5.
Yeah.
Rook e1, bishop d7. I was playing really quickly here. Just because like he spent so much time calculating knight take h7, I basically saw that this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But then after g3, I saw he's threatening h4. And I wanted to prevent h4. So what move do you think I played?
So preventing h4 would be like... Oh, rook h8, but it doesn't...
Yeah, I played rook h8.
Oh,
Just I played it quickly too, thinking it prevents h4, but he still plays h4. He played h4 in less than like 20 seconds. I can't take the pawn because queen f6, just tactics.
What a trick.
The good news is my rook is maybe slightly better on h8 anyway.
Yeah, but you should have played like bishop b5, right?
In this position?
Yeah.
So I wanted to play bishop b5 at some point, but after take, I wasn't sure. His rook starts winning my b-pawns.
Yeah. Or no, rook
I thought
A5.
it could like simplify to a draw too.
Yeah. Oh, that's the
Rook
the
A5
French
you
idea.
said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so rook a5, one of white's ideas is rook b4, and rook swings over.
Yeah. Annoying.
Yeah. So anyway, rook h8, h4, queen e7, and then queen f4, which I think is a nice move,
Mm-hmm.
keeping everything under control. I play bishop c6, and then he plays bishop e2. And then around here, I realized like, my position is difficult. I'm not sure what to do. I want to activate my bishop somehow. I wanted to play bishop b5, but nothing seemed attractive. And I took a long time here.
Can you play d4?
I was thinking about d4 ideas, but I think he can just get away with taking it. And
Take.
like
and
pawn
if you
take
play-
and bishop f3 or something at some
So
point.
if takes g5, queen g4,
Ooh.
huh? I
Um,
just really want.
oh, you want to mate on h1? Yeah, queen g4 is probably simple enough.
Yeah, if you start
Or
with
even,
g5,
like queen g4 and h5 at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, it
So-
doesn't work.
Yeah, so I played what I thought was a normal move, rook ac8.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't feeling great here. I thought, okay, it's probably like plus equal. He has all the potential play with like h5 at some point. And then after his next move, the whole momentum shifted, and I was feeling good the rest of the game.
Nice.
It's incredible. Like with one move, the momentum just completely turned in my favor. I think it was just carelessness on his part.
King g2. Oh, okay.
So he played King g2. Yeah, that would be nice. He played bishop f3, which looks like a normal move,
Yeah.
but he completely neglects one very key square in the position, the c4 square.
Oh.
And then I'm happy to play bishop e5, and rook c4 is coming.
Oh, nice.
And now he can't return to e2 because then I take and play rook c4.
So you've completely, yeah.
So I guess I was patient enough to wait for him to give me some opportunity.
Nice.
And then the rest of the game, it's just, well, okay, I build up pressure, and then he sacked, and then I defend, and it was a material. So we'll see what happens. Rook e d1. I double up, and then I triple up.
Mhm.
And I think already, like, I'm winning
Yeah,
a
now
pawn.
this is just
Like,
just
okay, if he
falling for
wanted to, he could take and get this ugly structure, but then I would be happy.
yeah.
So he played rook cd1, losing a pawn, and then he plays queen f4.
It's an instructive position. I mean, like, it's the saying, bad bishops defend good pawns, right? Like, your bishop is the passive one, right? But it's, like, defending everything, and white's bishop is completely restricted.
So that's the one thing about the structure, because all my pawns are in light squares, it restricts his bishop.
Yeah.
Which, okay, it kind of worked out. And I don't have any, like, pawn weaknesses because of my nice pawn chain.
Right.
F7 is super solid.
Okay.
So
Cover F6,
I go back, queen e7. And he plays king g2, and I realize, like, okay, he wants to someday play rook h1 and h5. So I wanted to trade. He plays h5. I take, and then he goes around here. I just realized there's nothing much to be worried about because I have this move g5. He plays h6 check, which is a bit unexpected. Free pawn. And then he plays queen g4. Okay, so he wants to check me on h5. And positions like this, I guess you have to identify white's plan. I think his plan is like queen h5, rook d1, rook h1. But then I also wanted to identify my plan. And I came up with a move here. I'm pretty sure he was not expecting it, because it's kind of like a move you might forget about. Any guesses? I think it's a very strong move.
I mean, I would be concerned also about queen h5 and rook g4. So I would.
That's true too.
I would definitely think about playing rook c4 here, just to trade off his rook, and but he can give check and play rook d1. So it's kind of unclear.
I didn't consider rook c4. I think for that reason.
Yeah. It often makes sense just to play like king g7, just to kind of. But I don't see what extra options that gives you.
King g7 first.
Just to kind of
I understand.
Be flexible, but yeah, I don't. And the counterplay with rook c1 doesn't look that interesting. Surely you didn't play like f5 or something crazy.
No, f5.
Oh, wow.
F5 is a move. I guess if we identify like queen h5, king g7, rook g4, f5 actually prevents this.
That's true.
Because if he takes on passant queen take, then f3 is a target.
Nice.
And yeah, like at first it might look iffy, but then the more you look into it, the more you realize, oh, it's like white still has no breakthrough, and now black's getting counterplay.
Yeah. That's a good move. So
I was happy with it. Thank you. Because if he takes, which didn't happen, then yeah, it's tough for white. For example, this rook g4 can't be played because this move.
Yeah.
So he tried queen h5 immediately, king g7, and then rook d1. So it's still not over because rook h1 is coming, and I'm gonna have to somehow defend his h file play. So I use some kind of thought process here, where initially, like my initial idea was to play bishop. Okay, so my very first idea is to play g4. But then I realized bishop take g4, queen take g4. That could be unclear.
Sure.
My second idea was to play bishop e8. But then he could play queen h2, which is actually like a nice retreating square. He can keep the option of doubling up, and then if I play g4, he can drop back to e2. So I was kind of stuck for a moment, like trying to figure out what the best path forward is. Then I realized I could combine these ideas. And move order is important. Here I can start with g4.
Oh, very nice.
And then after bishop take g4, then I play bishop e8. So he doesn't have queen take g4. Or if he plays like queen h3, then my bishop's in better position to defend, and this is just winning for black.
Yeah. Wow.
So this is what happened, bishop e8. At this point, he's already in time trouble. I had maybe 25 minutes left. He played queen h2. And then, okay, he got his h-file. I played bishop g6. And it looks scary because queen h6 or queen h8, but my king just survives. I was thinking that if he plays this and then this, Actually, I don't know if he even has a threat here.
Right.
So I could probably sort things out.
Yeah, it should be.
Maybe like queen g5 or something.
Yeah.
Anyway. He played queen h6, and then the rest of the game was just me running away, defending my king. He wins a pawn. I check him. And then I play rook c8, and he just resigns.
Huh.
So, not the smoothest game, given that I missed my take h7.
Yeah.
But I was happy with the opening. I want to figure out, like, I want to go back and see what the engine recommends in this position after like queen a4. But I think once he allowed this bishop b5 and rook c4, it was just
you
a pleasant
like kind of settled
kind of
down,
outplay.
overtook the game.
Right.
That was good. We've seen a lot of good defense. I was thinking actually the title for this video should be like h7 sacrifices don't work in both games, right?
That's true.
But, all right. Well, that was round 5. That's halfway point on the tournament. We
Yeah,
have,
this is. I keep forgetting this is a 10-round tournament.
10 round. Yeah, it's
because
usually
I like to say we're more than halfway done, but now we're only halfway done.
Just between half.
So tomorrow we should do a video on top of a mountain or on top of a hill.
Yeah, that sounds good. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Hopefully the weather's okay.
All right. See you guys.
See you guys.